We are going to dive right into our next session. I'm really excited about this because one of the things we wanted to do with this event is foster new collaborations and also hear from the people in the room. What are you excited to talk about? What success stories do you have to share that maybe we haven't heard about yet? And where are the new areas of collaboration that we really want to see as well? So we have got 10 fantastic lightning talks that we are going to get through in, can you believe it, 10 minutes. Yes, we are going to do it. I have every faith.
Line them up here.
So, you speakers, you know who you are. I see you sitting at the front. You know how this goes. So, Hero might have taken my clicker away, but that means no one has a clicker, so even more power. All right. Fantastic. Thank you. All right, you never know if you're going to get lucky. Fantastic. So the way we're going to run through this is each speaker is going to have 1 minute. When their time is up, the slide is going to move, and I am going to slide towards the stage, and we are going to move on to the next talk. So if you are inspired, interested to connect with any of these lightning pitchers, please do go and say hello to them afterwards in the reception. They are here to present and help to foster those collaborations. So with that, we are going to fastly move on to our first speaker. So Chi, come on down. Nguyen is going to talk about cyber. So Chi, it is over to you. You've got 1 minute. Thank you.
Good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. So CIBER and CIBER 2 are two starting rocket payloads to study the formations and evolutions of galaxies. These payloads carry small telescope and highly sensitive near-infrared detectors, similar to those used on the James Webb Space Telescope. So they were launched multiple times between 2009 and 2024. And the payloads, both of them were built mostly by early career scientists, so like postdoc and graduate student from the US and Japan's institution. The CIBER results have raised some interesting questions on what we know about galaxies formations, and it actually motivates one of the science team of SphereX, which is a NASA upcoming satellite missions that cost over $400 million. Last but not least, CIBER has been a highly successful training opportunity for many students, myself included, and it also prepared a workforce for space exploration in Japan and US. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
All right, 58 seconds. Who can beat that? Wonderful. All right, challenge accepted. Armin Kleinböhl from JPL, it is over to you. Thank you.
Konnichiwa. I want to talk about the Akatsuki Participating Scientist Program, which was established by NASA in support of JAXA's Venus Climate Orbiter mission. There was a first round in which 8 participating scientists were selected, including 2 participating scientists in residence. In 2016, there was a second round in which 4 participating scientists were selected, including me as a participating scientist in residence. Focus of the second round was the development of enhanced data products, and you can see an example on the left-hand side here. In addition, support of data archiving, enhancement of science output through modeling, and supporting observations with Earth-based telescopes. And this provided US expertise to the Japanese science teams and allowed US investigators to participate in Venus orbital science. And if you want to know more about it, please seek me out in the reception. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Fantastic, thank you. All right, next up we have Tom Essenpreis from Space System Command. Over to you.
Hey, everybody. So the Space Force's Space Systems Command is charged with, amongst other things, delivering cyber, ground, and space-based space domain awareness systems that detect, warn, characterize, attribute, and predict threats to national, allied, and commercial space systems. In December of 2020, the US and Japan signed a memorandum of understanding which allows the Space Force to place and operate a US-built sensor on board Japanese QZS 6 and 7 satellites. You can ask them about that satellite. This picture was taken in November of 2024. Our payload's the little thing on the side of the satellite there. The satellite and hosted payload are now integrated with H3 at Tanegashima and awaiting launch next week. So the plan is to launch QZS-7, as it says, early FY26. And we look forward to future collaborations with our ally, Japan.
Amazing. Thank you, Tom. All right, next up we have Jim Bell from ASU.
Okay, thank you. Do I click it? It does it all. Okay, thank you. Thank you, KISS. Thank you, everybody else. On April 13th, 2029, a Friday, the large asteroid Apophis, 350 meters diameter, will pass within 5 radii of our planet. It will be the astronomical event of 2029. It will not hit our planet, but it's a great opportunity to practice planetary defense and to learn a lot about these kinds of potentially hazardous asteroids. I'm Jim Bell. I'm a professor at Arizona State, a visiting sabbatical associate here at Caltech this year, and chief scientist of an organization called the Milo Space Science Institute. It's a nonprofit that hangs off of ASU. We formed in 2018 to provide new opportunities for space science, primarily to international collaborators. We're essentially aspiring to be a university-based space agency and a mini version of the European Space Agency. We've collaborated with Lockheed, the University of Colorado at Boulder, to propose to pitch to NASA a mission to use the Janus small sats, along with the Janus team, to do an initial flyby past Apophis in 2028, 1 year prior. We would use these two small sats and their simple science payload, visible and thermal infrared cameras, high heritage, to get basic reconnaissance information on the geology, on the spin state, et cetera, prior to that asteroid's flyby past the Earth. And then the ESA, Ramses, and NASA Apex missions will complete the investigation at the time of the flyby. We're seeking international participation. We're in conversations with a number of folks at JAXA, including the president of JAXA, Dr. Yamakawa, including the planetary defense expert, Professor Yoshikawa, and other colleagues in that community, and we would love to have more international involvement with our Japanese colleagues. Thank you. Arigatou gozaimasu.
All right, thank you, Jim. All right, next up we have Steve Matousek from JPL.
So imagine a near future where anyone can explore Mars for science questions and to explore. How could you do that? So with the International Mars Exploration Working Group, we've been looking at, with Japan, with the United States, with European Space Agency, and 20 other nations, how that could be done. So if you don't have to worry about getting to Mars or how you're going to get the information back, so imagine taking a bus, taking a space tug to Mars, hosts payloads, releases spacecraft into orbit, also to the surface. You can imagine doing network science, things that we can't do now. So that would open it up to anyone who wants to do Mars exploration. Also, another thing to note, you were talking about lunar exploration and getting to the surface. Well, the physics from that, the energy it takes to get to the surface and the space systems are the same type of energy you need to get into low Mars orbit. So with these space tugs, you can carry many, many things at the same time. So Japan and the US, other nations can lead the way and carry other nations there and enable science and exploration that we can't even imagine right now. So that's what I hope to have accomplished. We study this in an International Mars Exploration Working Group with many nations. And please talk to me about that later if you're interested in that. Thank you.
Fantastic. All right, next up we have Issei Suzuki from JSAT. Over to you.
Hello. JSAT is a geostationary satellite operator, currently operating 17 geosatellites over Asia Pacific and US. Most of the satellites are made by US manufacturer, as you can see on the screen. We also have 20 years of joint venture business with Intelsat, which is the biggest US-based satellite operator. And on the right side, data services. 10 years ago, we started a partnership with Planet Labs for Earth observation data reseller agreement. Now selling various Earth observation service providers in the US. So what's next? So we are looking for more collaboration in space. Last year, we released a 10 billion yen investment for VCs and startups. We invested in a couple of funds based in the US, and more news to come soon. And we'll be accelerating this investment and collaboration initiatives to bring more values, not only the connectivity and data businesses, but new areas in space. Thank you.
Fantastic, thank you. All right, next up we have Manny Shar from OrbitFab.
Good afternoon, everyone. Manny Shar from OrbitFab, Chief Strategy Officer, and I fundamentally believe that if we are to boldly go, we are going to need gas stations along the way, just like any other highway on Earth. We have a number of collaborations, but for those of you, how many of you know about OrbitFab? Just quickly, hands up. Oh, great. A few people. So we're building gas stations in space. We've done a few demonstrations, including on the International Space Station, becoming the first company to resupply the ISS with water. And we also have a number of collaborations with Japan, including two Tokyo Stock Exchange listed companies, Astroscale, who are building debris removal vehicles to take debris away from the orbital environment, increasing congestion in orbit, and they're really driving a lot of progress there. And then iSpace, who are really pushing the boundaries, and we heard from, I think, Ricardo earlier, who was providing that perspective. But yeah, we're working on in-situ resource utilization and enabling their landers to be reusable and rovers to be reusable. So if there's science missions coming up that you'd like to be refuelable and more sustainable, please come talk to me. Thank you.
All right, fantastic, thank you. Next up, we have Ryan Bates from Mitsui. Over to you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ryan Bates. I'm the regional officer for Mitsui USA. Mitsui is a highly diversified global business development company with offices in over 60 countries and a number of satellite or space investments, including space investments here in the US. We plan to develop, construct, and operate a Japan module, which will be the successor to the Japanese Kibu module on the ISS after the decommissioning of the ISS scheduled around 2030. In addition to owning and operating the space infrastructure, we plan to provide a space environment for space environment utilization services to JAXA and to others. Through our investment in Axiom Space, which aims to develop a commercial space station to succeed the ISS, we've been involved in post-ISS discussions with the Japanese government and with JAXA, and we've also been formulating a Japan module business plan. Subsidies from Japan's Space Strategy Development Fund will be used for the Japan module and will be provided to our subsidiary, Japan Leo Sachu. We aim to secure the venue and create opportunities for the space environment for Japan and to work together with US companies and US institutions to develop space. Thank you.
All right, fantastic. Next up, we have Leon Alkalai from Mandala Space Ventures.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Leon Alkalai. I've had the pleasure of working at JPL for 32 years. I retired about 4 years ago. And during my time, I had multiple roles at JPL. Part of it was to develop strategic partnerships internationally and had the pleasure of working with JAXA as well. Since leaving JPL, I now manage and run a venture studio here in Pasadena. A venture studio means that we have a studio and a fund. and we invest in startup companies in the emerging space ecosystem, and looking forward to also working with Japanese companies who want to do business in the US as well. In our studio, we also provide advisory services. I'm very proud to say that we have strategic advisory services with Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. In fact, on this coming Monday, I'm flying to Tokyo and Nagoya for a one-day workshop in Nagoya with Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, primarily on a lunar exploration strategy and other topics in the future, and then another meeting in Tokyo. So I have a very personal and deep appreciation for Japan and the Japanese people. I was there twice with my family, once in 2002 and later in 2018. And there's a very, very nice story that I can share in 10 seconds. That when we were lost in Tokyo in 2002 with a map looking at where to go, a total stranger approached us, took us down from the train into the taxi and told the taxi guy where to take us. And basically the last words to me was for Japanese-American friendship. When we came to the Tokyo Tower and I went to the taxi driver to pay, the taxi driver told me, no, it was already paid by the stranger. So this is a true story that I carry with me, and for me, Japanese-American friendship is part of who I am, and looking forward to talking to you about it some more.
Fantastic, thank you. All right, next up we have Taylor Lenton from Caltech.
Hello. If you are working at a commercial organization, a company, and wondering how you can get more involved in research collaborations with Caltech, apparently one answer is you can send a sample to John Eiler's lab, no questions asked, but preferably we would like you to get in touch. We are the Office of Corporate Partnerships. We are part of Technology Transfer and Corporate Partnerships. I forgot to put the info on the slide, so I'll say it at the beginning and at the end of my minute. You can go to innovation.caltech.edu for more information and a contact page. What we do is we actually work across campus on all sorts of corporate collaborations. So whether or not you're looking to collaborate with a biologist, a mathematician, somebody who works in the space sciences, we are kind of a one-stop shop for companies to help find the right people that they need to work with. We do sponsored research projects where you might have a one-off project where you'd like to work collaboratively with somebody, a research group here on campus. We can help get that set up. We do process gifts. If you'd like to support some of our students who are working in the space sciences, we can help with that. And the main focus of our office is really on developing strategic corporate partnerships. So how do we bring companies together with Caltech? The most public example of this is actually in quantum computing, where we have Amazon people here working on campus with Caltech researchers to develop a quantum computer. So we're always looking for big opportunities like that as well. We have counterparts who work on licensing existing technology and entrepreneurship as well, and you can find more about that at the website. Again, that's innovation.caltech.edu. There's a contact form, and just put in corporate partnerships. We'll get it to the right person.
All right, thank you. So I'd just like to say one more round of applause for our fantastic and timely lightning talk pictures. So please do find them at the reception. I'm sure they will be happy to talk for more than 1 minute. All right, fantastic. So we are going to move swiftly on to some of our closing remarks. I just want to say what a fantastic afternoon this has been. So thank you, everyone, for your participation. Before we wrap up, we are really honored to have a special guest with us today who is going to talk about California's space economy and launching the future. So with that, I would love to welcome up Emily Issei to talk from California GoBiz. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I'm cognizant that I'm standing between us and the reception, and with graduate and PhD students in particular, I recognize that as inherently dangerous. But thank you to the Keck Institute. Thank you to the Consulate of Japan for hosting this event. To my friends at the Japan House, Yuko-san, it is so nice to see you. We're thrilled and honored to be here, albeit very intellectually humbled based on the conversations today, but I think that's the best part of life and being at events like this. My name is Emily Desai. I'm the Senior Deputy Director for the California Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development. We're really thrilled to be here and to have a few minutes to talk to you a bit about the work that we do. And as my fellow speakers did today, I wanted to make, of course, a comment about everything that is happening with California right now. In crises like this and disasters like this, there is often a feeling that it brings out the absolute worst in humanity. But what I want us all to reflect on and be reminded of is it is a loud but very, very small minority. And it is the vast majority of people where we see the absolute best come out. Neighbors helping, friends stepping up, JPL and companies whose employees have been impacted doing everything they can to help their workforce. And at the state level, of course, the governor announced $2.5 billion in state funding to tackle this crisis and to tackle the disaster and work with the California communities that are so affected by this. But on the spirit of today and just being so excited by hearing everything that you all shared, the spirit of innovation, of scientific exploration, and curiosity and inquisitiveness and adventure, we're very, very proud of our partnership with Japan and the incredible collaborations of the leading innovators in California who we heard a minute of just as an example that really drive a lot of this exploration forward. It was interesting, my colleague and I, Maria, actually drive down from Sacramento early this morning, and it was such an auspicious start to being here at this event because right around 6 a.m. as she and I are just cruising down I-5, we sort of look up in the sky and see something sort of strange, recognizing that we're watching Falcon 9 launching from Vandenberg, which was such a cool way to start the day and watch the moonlight, hit the sort of remnants of the rocket and creating that interesting cloud shape, and just such a fantastic example of the innovation and what's happening here in the California economy. So our state agency, GoBiz, we're responsible for the economic strategy and development for the state of California. We do job creation, business assistance, support entrepreneurship across the state. We really want to protect and grow an economy in California that serves all Californians. The California economy is the 5th largest in the world, just behind Japan. So that means that our work, like all of yours, is inherently global. So with an economy the size of California's, every major industry, for the most part, has a foot and a presence here. We're really leaning in, as this slide here shows, to support the strategic sectors to create jobs statewide. And space and aerospace is absolutely one of those areas that's heavily concentrated in California that we're particularly excited about because of the substantial growth and the high-paying jobs, the family-supporting jobs that are enabled by this sector. The space industry is incredibly transformational, not just because of everything you heard about with these speakers today, but of course, what that innovation means here at home, enabling communication systems and solutions in the most difficult-to-reach regions on the planet, thinking about improving climate and ocean monitoring to make our lands more resilient, contributing to more agile supply chains. For me personally, I never even thought about the idea of moon vibrations in the past and telescopes being there, but I'm a very avid bird watcher, so I know that the very expensive binoculars I buy are benefited by the lens and the developments that you all do on the moon. So thank you for the most important part of this day, which is helping me see migratory birds with better clarity. So the global space sector in California is absolutely massive in terms of its economic contributions. 2023, more than $440 billion as a growth rate globally over the next decade. And the California space innovation community is really obviously adding incredible value to that, generating more than $35 billion in GDP. We in California, all of you here in California, attracted more than half of the country's space tech investment capital over the past decade. And as institutions like Caltech really embody the big part of that driver and what is helping keep that in California is this unparalleled talent pool. And I have to say how invigorating it is to look out and see the students that are here and the diversity and vibrancy that talent really represents, which is why, of course, all 5 aerospace primes have facilities here in California. So much research and development takes place. It is because of that workforce that really exists nowhere else. And of course, it's also about those small to medium-sized businesses that really drive a lot of the advanced components and technologies that enable really important space missions like you've heard about today. So global collaboration is a key driver of innovation in California, and I can't overemphasize enough the importance of Japan as one of our most important partners and allies. Not only for the very significant trade relationship we have with Japan, but Japan is consistently one of our top sources of foreign investment. More than 3,000 Japanese-owned firms operating in California. That means they're employing more than 100,000 Californians. Our office has a very long history of working with Japan. Just last October, my colleague Maria and I were in Tokyo for Japan Aerospace. We brought 10 California companies there. We really focus on helping small businesses bring their commercial applications to global markets. We think a lot about supporting the interoperability that brings toward broader goals with our US government counterparts. And so while we were there, we had a lot of exciting meetings, including touring an aerospace accelerator called CrossU that some of you are likely familiar with, that we try to develop more partnerships with at the state level as well. So as our office looks to advance strategic sectors like this one, we'd love to stay in touch. The QR code there will take you for some of the innovators and small businesses in this room, or those that have small businesses in mind that are here in California that might be interested in working with us and going to Japan or selling their products overseas or learning more about what those opportunities might be. We absolutely want to be in touch with you. We'll be at the reception for a bit and look forward to connecting more with all of you. And thank you again to our Japanese friends and partners. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you very much.